Hello, I am near the National Assembly building in Uido, Seoul. The Cherry Blossom Festival is held here every April. After blocking the road to traffic, the cherry blossoms planted on the street trees are placed so that you can walk around and enjoy them. The entrance to the festival starting point is beautifully decorated with a garden. This Cherry Blossom Festival is one of the 3 famous cherry blossom festivals held in Seoul: Uido, Jamsil, Yongjae. These 3 places are famous for cherry blossoms. Come to think of it, they are all located in the southern part of the Han River in Seoul. The history of the Cherry Blossom Festival here is not that long. The festival began in 2005. As I explained earlier, it started so that Seoul citizens could enjoy the beautiful cherry blossoms planted on street trees. There is a historical background to the reason why there are so many cherry blossoms here. The cherry blossom trees planted here were originally from Changnyeongdeung Palace in Seoul and were moved there. Korea became a Japanese colony in 1910. At that time, the Japanese government planted many cherry blossom trees in Changnyeongdeung Palace in Korea. The Japanese people really like cherry blossoms and think of them as a flower that symbolizes their country. When I think of Japan, the first flower that comes to mind is cherry blossoms, and the scenery of Japanese cities and towns with cherry blossoms fluttering in the wind comes to mind. I don't know if that's why, but at that time they planted a lot of cherry blossom trees in the palace. In 1945, Japan lost the Pacific War, and the victorious United States returned national sovereignty to Korea. The Korean government moved all the cherry blossom trees planted in the palace here. They restored them to their pre-colonial state. There are so many cherry trees here that they line a road about 2 kilometers long. About 1,886 cherry trees are planted. The cherry tree variety used to be the Tokyo Somei Yoshino variety. It would have been natural since the trees were planted by the Japanese government during the Japanese colonial period. However, they have all been replaced with different varieties since 2024. The cherry trees planted here are of the Jeju Island variety, located in the south of Korea. They are different varieties from Japanese cherry trees. In fact, it is almost impossible for an ordinary person to tell the difference between Japanese and Korean varieties. Since all the trees were replaced in 2024, anyone who visited here before will feel that it is a completely different landscape. They are completely different trees. Koreans like fluttering cherry blossoms now because they are pretty, but Korean ancestors preferred plum blossoms over cherry blossoms. This is because cherry blossoms have a weak impression because their petals fall easily. Koreans liked plants that have a strong and unchanging appearance. The most representative of these was the plum tree. The reason Koreans like plum blossoms is because they are the first flowers to bloom when the cold winter passes and spring begins, and the petals last a long time. Cherry blossoms bloom in April, but plum blossoms bloom in March. However, the time when the petals fall is similar. March is still a cold time in Korea, but Koreans think that the sight of flowers blooming in the cold weather is beautiful. I happened to talk about plum blossoms while talking about cherry blossoms. Anyway, if you want to see plum blossoms in Seoul, you can visit the palace from March to early April.
아직은 없는데 이제 내일 시내 모레 오면 하얗지.
If you look to the left, you can see the entrance. This is the side entrance of the Korean National Assembly building. The building you see right in front is the National Assembly Museum. The National Assembly building grounds are so large that it is difficult to walk around. Most people use cars to enter and exit. Koreans are dissatisfied because it is unnecessarily large and well equipped. They are treated absurdly compared to the work they do as members of the National Assembly, and they frown a lot because they pass bills to increase the salaries of members of the National Assembly, even when the economy is struggling. That is why the people are very dissatisfied, and I have not seen a single person who thinks positively of members of the National Assembly. I do too. Korea in particular has a serious problem because there are many very backward politicians. Eni and Zole, I think they are thieves who steal taxes from the people. I think members of the National Assembly are the problem in any country.
탈출할 수 없는 상황이라면 첫 번째, 그리고 힘을 껴주세요. 두 번째, 전투 자세를 취해보세요. 이런 자세들은 특별히요.
아니면 안 될 거면
The building you see in front is a book cafe called Gangbyeon Seoje, an annex building of the National Assembly. Anyone can enter and read books inside the building. However, you have to pay for coffee. You can't see it here now, but to the right is the Han River that runs through the middle of Seoul. If you enter the building and go up to the upper floor, you can enjoy a beautiful view of the Han River.
종합상황실에서 안내드립니다. 우리 모두의 안전을 위하여 펜스, 종이와
If you look to the left, you can see a traditional Korean house building. It is called Sarangjae. It is a place that only National Assembly staff can use. It is used as a space to receive visiting National Assembly guests on weekdays and as a National Assembly staff ceremony hall on weekends.
행사장 대관에는 일반 쓰레기와 분리수거함이 곳곳에 위치하고 있습니다. 관람객 여러분께서는 일반 쓰레기와 교환하는 배지를 준비하여 제출해 주시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
The large building you see in front is the main building of the National Assembly. It is where the National Assembly members propose bills and hold discussions. It is really big. Compared to other countries, it is so overwhelmingly large that you wonder if it was really necessary to build it this big. It is known as the largest National Assembly building in an Asian country. It was originally designed to accommodate over 600 National Assembly members in the event of unification between the North and South. Since the North and South are still divided, 330 National Assembly members are using that large building. It is truly comical. Some say that because the building is so big, the National Assembly members are influenced by the space and engage in politics that emphasize authority. As you can see now, the building is large and is structured so that ordinary citizens cannot approach it. Because of this, it feels so far away from the people. People who should be close to the people are actually far away. The people sitting on the left are people taking a break while walking here. There are chairs like this during the festival. There are no more seats to sit there. Since it is a distance of 2 kilometers, your legs will inevitably hurt if you walk around taking pictures.
우리 짐 싸는다니까.
에 걸렸다 그랬는데. 난 저 안에 들어가려고 그랬는데 안에 들어가려고. 어차피 들어와봐. 저 안에 있잖아.
완전 찍는 거 아니야? 처음에는 어디
거기다. 밥을 좀 내가 먹어.
지구를 위한 메시지 작성 부탁드립니다.
메시지 작성.
사람 없다. 달려.
Here stands the Seoul mascot Haechi character. This character is always seen at festivals held in Seoul. This is the Seoul mascot created based on the Korean imaginary animal Haetae. Haetae symbolizes justice. That's why you can still see Haetae stone statues installed in major institutions in Korea. It's to encourage people to do just things. Haetae stone statues are also placed at the entrances to palaces in Korea.
테마를
The building on the left is the National Assembly Annex. It is where the National Assembly Press Center is located. This concludes my walk through the Uido Cherry Blossom Festival. Thank you for watching the video.